Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. It is 99 degrees in this room. Once again, my house is so hot, so please excuse the sweating that is going to be going on in this video. Also, if you hear some noise in the background, the boys just went down for a nap and Ben was still in a little bit of a play mode, so he's not really going down as easily as he usually does. So if you hear some noises in the background, that's just him like trying to get himself to fall asleep. So I hope that isn't too distracting. But today's video is going to be a personal Q&A. I haven't filmed a personal Q&A in a while because most of my Q&As in the past X amount of months have been pregnancy related or baby related or anything like that. And since I've gotten so many new subscribers here in the past few months and followers on my Instagram, I just almost dropped my computer, I thought why not film another personal Q&A. So I posted something over on my Instagram asking for your guys' questions, and today we're going to run through those and answer them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, head on down there and subscribe. I appreciate that always. And with that being said, let's get into the video. I'm already dripping sweat and we are just getting into it. So I have all my questions down here on my computer, and like I said, we're just going to run through these hopefully as quickly as possible, or I'm gonna pass out. That's how hot it is in this room. But the first question I got is, are you almost done with college, and what jobs do you plan on working after you finish? So if you guys are not familiar, I was a senior or going into my senior year of college at Stony Brook University when I got pregnant with the twins. So I was able to complete that fall semester while I was pregnant, and then I took the spring semester off to, of course, deliver the boys and just like adjust to my new life. And so I am back in college. I applied for summer courses. I'm taking one right now that's almost over. It'll be over this coming week. And then I'm taking one more the second half of the summer. And then I have 3 more courses to complete in the fall. And Stony Brook has announced that they are going to be doing a lot of their courses online in the fall, just because coronavirus is still a thing and there may be like a second wave of it coming in the fall. So a lot of the larger classes they did put online, and luckily for me, all 3 of my classes have been moved to online. It just makes my life so much easier that way. I don't have to worry about putting the boys in daycare just yet and worrying about that and how much that will cost. And so yes, long answer, but yes, I am close to finishing college. I have 4 classes left after I'm done with this one that's over in a week. And what job do I plan on working after I finish? Well, a lot of the jobs, my major is psychology, and a lot of the jobs require a master's degree, and so I will be going on to get my master's degree after I graduate from like undergrad with my undergrad degree. I will be going on to get my master's, and then from there I will be looking for a job in the field of psychology. The next question I got is, what is your plan for working after you graduate university? Will you do full-time or part-time, and where would you like to work? Or instead, are you planning on staying home with the boys for a little while longer? So I kind of answered this in the last question, but I do have to go on to get my master's degree after I graduate in December. So I'm not going to be going into a full-time job like in my career just yet. After I graduate in December, I do kind of want to get some kind of job to get out there and start making my own money. But I can't like get my career job yet without my master's degree. So I will be staying home with the boys. I'll probably get some part-time job or try and get some type of job maybe in my field, but I won't be starting like my career just yet until I get my master's degree. And like I said, it'll be in the field of psychology. I'm not really sure exactly what. There is a lot you can do with a psychology degree, and so I still kind of have some time to pick through those and come to like a firm decision. So the next question is, are you planning on getting married? Now, if you guys don't know, my boyfriend Harris and I have been together for 4 years now, and we just had our first 2 children, Ben and Jack, who are twins, and they're about to be 6 months old. And so they were a surprise. They were not exactly planned for. And so if we did not have the boys, Harris and I probably would be getting married sooner than we plan to now. mainly for the reason of finances and just how much a wedding costs. We had talked about, you know, getting engaged during this time period right now if we did not have the twins, but because we have the twins, we did put our plans on the back burner. We are just not ready financially or emotionally. We kind of have a lot to work on. If you have children, if you're married, or if you just have children with someone, you know it takes a toll on your relationship. And so there is a lot that Harris and I need to talk about and kind of work out in our relationship in order to move forward with getting married. But it is a conversation we've had a lot, even before we had the boys, that it is something that we want. So yeah, there's a lot of work that has to be done for us to get to that place. But I'm in no rush now. I'm focusing on taking care of the boys, finishing up school, and moving forward with that stuff. And Harris is working on, you know, saving up for that big decision. So the next question I got is, did you plan to be a young mom? How difficult or easy has it been to adjust to having 2 babies at once? And are you planning to have more babies in the future? So did I plan on being a young mom? Yes and no. I always knew I wanted to have my children done by the time I hit around 30. Harris and I, we do have quite a significant age gap between us. He is 9 years older than me, and so he's at the point in his life, age-wise, where a lot of people nowadays start having children, which is in their 30s, and I, of course, am in my early 20s. So I knew no matter what, like, I would be on the younger side when we would have our children, since, like I said, Harris is 9 years older than me. And I did always plan on having all my children by the time I hit 30, just because I'm the type of person who doesn't want to have a career established and then have to kind of back away from it in order to like have my children. I know there are a lot of people out there who are working parents and working moms, but for me, I really wanted to be home with my children in these early years of their life. So I knew I kind of wanted to start having children in like my mid-20s, either in between my undergraduate and graduate degree or right after my graduate degree, so I could stay home with them during these young years, and then once they get a little bit older and are off to school themselves, I then can establish my career and carry that career through the rest of their childhood into their teenage life and everything like that. So I knew I wanted to have children young, but I didn't think I was going to be having children as young as I did. I was 21 when I got pregnant with the twins and 22 when I delivered them. And so yeah, I'm fairly a young mom, but Harris is a lot older. Our relationship has been established, so it really wasn't an issue when I did have the twins. How difficult or easy has it been to adjust? So with our current situation in the world with coronavirus and everything like that, I would say my personal experience adjusting to be a mom has been very different to a lot of other parents' periods of adjusting. I think anyone who has had a child or children or is pregnant, you know, during this time, it's so weird. So it was a lot easier in the beginning because I did have my mom here with us for the first few weeks, and then she did come back to help me during a short time. So that was really nice. It was easy to adjust in terms of like I had help in the beginning. Once my mom left, it was a lot more difficult to kind of get my footing and really dive into being a mom myself. I no longer had my mom home. Harris went back to work at that time, and coronavirus really set in. So I was not able to get help as frequently and as easily and as often as I was able to before coronavirus set in. So once coronavirus really set in and everything was on lockdown, it actually got a lot more difficult because I really had to do everything by myself. I did have Harris home from work for quite a few weeks, and we did get the coronavirus, and so that was a whole nother thing. But once he started going back to work and it really just was on me, it was a lot more difficult. But I would say now that I'm over that hump and I've really gotten to a great routine, I feel like I know the boys, I know myself, I know how I am as a mom, I know their schedule, things have gotten a lot easier. I think, you know, it was rough there for a while, and it really did take adjusting. And I think that's the case for anybody. It takes adjusting to become a parent and to learn your babies and learn how to do everything. But I think we're over that hump and it is fairly easy now. My day-to-day routine is like so much easier than what it was. I think also because they're a little bit older now, they're hitting that 6-month like time frame, that things aren't as difficult as it was when they were newborns. But yeah, I would say it was easy in the beginning when I was able to get help, a lot harder with coronavirus. such a weird thing. I feel like I've lost so many months of the year, and I feel like my family has lost out on a lot with the boys because my mom hasn't seen them since they were like 8 weeks old. My sister hasn't seen them since they were like a month old. My stepmom has never seen them. A lot of my family down in Florida, they were supposed to meet them this summer and they have yet to meet them. So yeah, I'm going off on a tangent. But last part of this person's question is, are you planning to have more babies in the future? And yes, it is something that Harris and I want, but not anytime soon. We really need to kind of wait till the boys are a little bit older and more self-sufficient for us to go ahead and have more children. I originally wanted my children to be really close in age, but I got 2 in one go, and so that kind of changes the dynamic of things. But it is something that Harris and I have talked about. He does really want a daughter in the future, so we will try for that girl, but if we have more boys, that's completely fine. But it's something that we are not, you know, dabbling in anytime soon, probably not for like 3 years. So the next question is, how has body image been now that you are further into postpartum? So honestly, I feel like I have not had a super rough time with my body postpartum. I did a whole video about postpartum. If you guys are interested in hearing my experience postpartum, I will link it up here. But yeah, I feel like when I was about to have the boys, I thought a lot about what my body was going to look like postpartum, and I kind of harped on it a little bit, and I was really nervous about how I was going to react to my own body postpartum, because I've had issues with like body dysmorphia and like just body issues in general in the past. And so I was thinking, like, if I don't even like my body skinny and like ideal, like I look back at pictures of myself before I had the boys and I was like, why did I ever complain about how I looked? I would die to go back to that. But I was like thinking, if I have issues with my body like this, I can only imagine how I'm gonna feel with my body postpartum. But to be completely honest, it's something that I haven't really worried a lot about. It's not something that I've thought a lot about or harped on. I mean, there definitely are days where I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God. But then there's other days I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, like you look so good for being 5 months postpartum from having twins. Like my body definitely got pushed to its limits. And so it is, you know, expected that I would have the stretch marks and the saggy loose skin and all that kind of stuff, which I'm really okay with. I kind of have accepted my postpartum body. I definitely think I look pretty good for being postpartum. Someone else asked for me to show a updated belly shot, so I will insert that right here for you guys to see what she is looking like now. But I really have to say, my stretch marks don't affect me too much. My loose skin doesn't affect me too much. The only thing that really bothers me is my belly button because it's so weird looking. But other than that, I mean, I didn't really gain a whole lot of weight anywhere else. It was mainly in my stomach. So I feel like when I have clothes on, especially high-waisted pants and everything like that, my body looks pretty much how it did before I had the boys. So my image now that I'm further along in postpartum is kind of the same as it was early on in postpartum, and I'm pretty content with how my body is looking. Of course, I do kind of want to tone up and get things back to where they were as much as I could. But ladies, it takes 9 months to cook a baby, and so it'll probably take 9+ months for me to get anywhere near where I used to be. Okay, so the next question I have is, what do you edit your videos with? So I actually use iMovie on my phone. I use my phone to film and edit. I have the iPhone 10 something, 10S, something like that. I don't know, the iPhone 10 something. And I film all my videos on my phone and I edit all my videos on my phone. I use the iMovie app on the phone to edit. I use YouTube Audio Studio, I think it's called, to find my non-copyrighted music to add to my phone, and the little like slide that plays at the end of my videos that has like my Instagram and my past video and all that kind of stuff, I made that template using the app Canva. My next question is, if it isn't too personal, I'm always curious what, how, if any people choose for birth control after having a baby. This is not too personal, I don't care to share. I was actually on the pill Apri for I think 8 or 9 years before I got pregnant with the boys, and it worked really, really well for me. And when I came off of it, that is how I had the boys. But yeah, I was on the pill for a really long time, and I do plan on going back onto the pill. I was breastfeeding early on in my pregnancy, and so when I went for my 6-week checkup postpartum and I was asked about birth control, I said that I wanted to go back on the pill, but my gynecologist, like my OBGYN, kind of advised against going on the pill at that point because I was still breastfeeding and going on the pill can affect your supply. So I was supposed to go back at 12 weeks when I stopped breastfeeding, and I never did because coronavirus set in and everything went on lockdown, and my OBGYN office was only seeing pregnant women during that time, and so I haven't been back, but they are open now and I do plan on making an appointment to get back on the pill. That's just what I prefer. I'm not comfortable with IUDs or anything like that. That kind of stuff just like freaks me out, so I do plan on going back on the pill, and hopefully I can get back on what I was, which was a pre. But in terms of other forms of birth control, gotta use those condoms, so I don't have any more of those. My next question is, where do you and Harris work and how do y'all budget and afford 2 babies at a young age? So like I mentioned, Harris is 9 years older than me and he has an established career. He works in title insurance, in like the real estate industry. He works in like for a company that his dad actually used to own, but his dad sold the company to like a public company, like a larger company. So Harris still works there, and that is how we afford to take care of these children. Harris does all the providing. I do have to say we are extremely lucky. The house that we are living in currently, we rent from his aunt for next to nothing. She is like a lifesaver. When we found out we were pregnant and we needed to move into a place, we really stressed about where we were going to move and how expensive it was going to be and all that kind of stuff, and his aunt really saved the day with letting us live in this house that she bought to essentially level, knock down, and flip. But she put a pause on that so we can live here for some time while Harris is saving up money for us to move somewhere else. So our like expense living wise in this house is seriously next to nothing. But other than that, Harris does all the providing and I am super grateful for that. I do like worry about my school and I pay that. I take out loans, so I'll have like student loans and everything. But when it comes to the boys, Harris and his family really does a lot for me. Next question I got is, when is your guys' birthdays? Which I feel like is a really random question, but my birthday is December 18th, 1997. Harris is November 15th, 1988. And the twins are January 20th, 2020. Next question I got is, do you want more kids? And if so, when? And I answered this before. We do want kids in the future. We probably won't start trying for at least like 3 years. And we probably will only have one more unless I get pregnant with twins again. Then we'll have 2 more. Next question, and the last question I got is, what are some other boy names you guys considered and girl names you like? So I did a whole video on boy names I love but we won't be using, so I will link that video up here if you guys are interested in checking it out. In that video, I share a bunch of names that I liked, names that Harris liked, and I'm pretty sure in that video I said that Harris loved the name Benjamin and I absolutely hated it. And we wound up naming Ben Ben. Ben's name is not Benjamin, it's just plain Ben. And sometimes I feel compelled to yell Benjamin when he's acting up. So we've kind of considered changing his name to fully Benjamin. Who knows if we actually will, but we liked Benjamin. Cooper, Reed we really liked, which wound up being Ben's middle name. I loved the name Lane. I'm trying to think what else I had in that video. I honestly can't even remember. Bo I really liked. So you can watch that video if you guys are interested in checking out some boy names that we liked but we didn't wind up using. As far as girls' name, I am so happy that I wasn't pregnant with a girl because Harris and I had so much trouble picking out a girl name. A lot of the names I said he absolutely hated. One name that I really like for a girl is Shay, and Harris absolutely hated it, so that probably will never get used. I like boy names for girls. I really like the name Stevie for a girl, but Harris absolutely hated that. One name that we both kind of agreed on that we like is Parker, so maybe if we have a little girl in the future, her name will be Parker. And we both really like the name Teddy, like from the Real Housewives, Teddy Mellencamp. We both really like the name Teddy, so maybe Parker, maybe Teddy will get used in the future, or maybe it'll be some other random name. But a name that Harris really liked for a girl that I don't really like at all, no offense to anyone with this name, is Sophie. I'm just like not a fan of it. I really like boy names or simple names for girls, and as you can see, I like simple names for boys. I have Ben and Jack, which are the 2 most simplest names you can get. So Sophie just really didn't fit into like my aesthetic for baby names. So And yeah, I could do a whole video on baby names if you guys want to know more. I seriously had such a long list in my phone, and Harris made 99.9% of those. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little random Q&A. I could definitely do more of these in the future if this is something that you guys enjoyed. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Head on down and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.